In today's episode, we look into the districts of Zobeck. Hey, this is the Midgard guy, and today we're going to look at the districts of Zobeck. But first, why districts? Well, when you're creating a campaign in D&D, the city districts are important because it's like little subparts of a very large city. Remember, you're holding all this information in your mind, so to break it into smaller chunks works better for continuity and just for ease of use as a dungeon master. You can use the theme for each district to plan out like interactions and adventures and locations. And in the world of Midgard, which by the way is super fleshed out and very detailed, it's very useful to have Zobeck, the main city, divided into smaller districts. In this episode, we're going to be using the Midgard World Book, and I'm going to be reading from it. And if you don't have it, what are you waiting for? If you do have it, you may be intimidated by the vast amount of information. And the question is, where do we begin? I have not found any channel doing this, breaking it all down into usable chunks. The idea is that at the end of today's video, we'll get a couple of little plot hooks or ideas. Not even at the end of the video, at the end of each district, I'm going to try to provide some plot hooks. So let's get started with the Citadel District. First, we're going to zoom into Zobeck. If you want to see this map, it's available. Just look for Kobold Press's Midgard map, and you will find it. Scroll down, look for the Zobeck map. Here we have the map of the city of Zobeck. And now let's zoom into the Citadel District. So it rises above the northern section of the city, and it defends the river entrance from upstream threats. Right there is a possibility for adventure. Maybe you're trying to break into the Citadel. Maybe you're trying to break out of the Citadel. You know that this is the way to do it. This bridge right here and this area right here. That's already an idea for interacting with the Citadel. Now in the Citadel works the Order of the Griffin Riders. This is a group of scouts, arcanists, and daredevils that fly patrols against centaurs and other bandits throughout the Margrave Forest and serve as the city's eyes and ears in wartime. Clearly, if you're flying griffins, it's very easy to just get a broad look of any threats. They have speckled griffins, about 5 or 6 at a time, and they care for them, and they have groomers and trainers that work there. Again, another plot hook. Maybe you pretend to be a griffin groomer, or maybe you kidnap a griffin groomer, or maybe you need to rescue a griffin groomer, or maybe you need to catch a rogue griffin groomer. It's just little ideas for things you can do in your adventure. Now, NPCs. In each location in Midgard, there's always going to be an opportunity to have an NPC. And I think it's important that they become consistent, because if it's the same person found all the time doing the same thing, it makes the world real. You have to understand that when you read this book, the Midgard World Book, the people who worked on this, I don't know what was going on in their lives, but this clearly was everything they were doing. I know this is a collaboration, but it's so detailed, so many little things. I'm sure there's somewhere the contents of a wastebasket in a house in somewhere. It's ridiculous. So the best way to use this information is to write down the NPCs and give them like personalities. So the first one we're going to meet is General Jorn Haklav, Field Marshal of the Free Army and Captain of the Zobeck Hussars. By the way, a hussar, or hussar, I don't know how you pronounce it, is light cavalry. So he is lawful neutral, male, fighter, level 2, cleric, level 6. And if I had to hire an actor to play this man, I would hire Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive. If you're not old enough to know what that means, I don't know, go to bed, it's too late. So Haklav lives and trains in the Citadel. In time of war, he commands most of the city and can even dictate orders to the council and most of the guilds. In times of peace, the Citadel prepares for the next assault against the city's freedoms and strives to expand Zobeck's influence into the wider and wilder territories of the north. So as you know, or may not know, north of Zobeck is Morgau, and that's a whole other thing we need to talk about at some point. Haklov and his officers frequently consult with all the major players in the city, masters and journeymen from the Arcane Collegium, Griffin Knights, guild masters, and even something called crab diviners. And the book refers you to see the Zobeck Gazetteer. I'm concerned about what that possibly means. I'm thinking it's some people that read crabs. As things currently stand, the mayor, council, and the field marshal all agree on one thing. It's a time of urgent preparation. If you look through the book and the abridged history on the bottom of the first pages, there's a war coming. Like, we are, as adventurers, this is a very dangerous time. It's akin to the years before the Great War of the Ring and Lord of the Rings. It's very exciting because there's a lot going on. Like, the world is not just stagnant. Like, people are getting assassinated. Kingdoms that were super stable are being taken over, and everybody's just tense. And people agree on the problem. The problem is that they disagree whether it's going to be King Lucan from the north, and the Duchy of Morgau, or the dragon armies of the Maharati. I don't know. Both of these kingdoms have done hostile takeovers of other kingdoms, and it's just a matter of time before they start moving on to the crossroads, the city of Zobeck. And the agreement is that there is not enough troops, battle or hardened troops, to defend against a gigantic threat from both of those places, especially considering that King Lucan is allied with the Ghoul Empire, and it would be bad for those creatures to come down. Now, another NPC in the Citadel District is located in the Blue House, and it's Lady Fennel. The Blue House is right here. Lady Fennel. Outside of wartime, the Citadel answers to the scarred but outrageously glamorous Lady Fennel Merrick. She's lawful evil, female, human rogue, level 12. And if I had to pick a movie star to play her, I would pick Glenn Close in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Do with that what you will. Lady Fennel comes from a long line of successful merchants. She's profoundly wealthy and drives a hard bargain with everyone. A widow and a survivor, she is the paranoid mind that helps keep Zobeck free. She's feared for her cunning remarks and her powers as Praetor, it's Latin, look it up, of the Blue House. She's a mistress of the secret police and any malcontents who can be convinced to serve the city's greater good. So basically, she's the Gestapo, the KGB, the CIA, all those things in the city. She often approaches talented troublemakers under arrest and offers them shorter sentences in exchange for, quote, a little work outside of town, end quote. This involves, obviously, something dangerous, such as some arcane sabotage against the Blood Kingdom, spying on merchants suspected of having cultists, or sneaking abroad the flying city of Sikkim. By the way, I still have no idea what the city is. I'm sure I'll find out at some point. It was in the abridged history, but I still don't know. It seems like it's a floating city of some sort. So in the Citadel District, what I can think of as possible plot hooks is the party gets up to no good, gets inebriated, starts a fight, and gets arrested. And Lady Fennel offers them a bargain. You need to go do X at Y place, which could be locate a MacGuffin or follow some people and get some information, or maybe go to a nearby village and assassinate someone or bring someone back or find some spies or do something like that. That's an idea for the Citadel District. It's basically the police station. So anything that you've ever seen in a movie that has to do with a police station, you can kind of change and tweak to be like an adventure, because ultimately what we're doing is making a movie together. This is not Dungeons and Dragons is not a game. We're filmmakers. So that will be the Citadel District.